everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know you're joining us from Hawaii and California, and we're all really busy. It's so exciting to work together and to see you all here today. I want to introduce you to Pam Chambers. She is known as Hawaii's coach for public speaking and networking and etiquette in the business space. And we are super excited to have Pam join us today and share her mana'o and ike with us around how to do better in the business world. So thank you, Pam, for being here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure completely. I was really looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to the other two sessions later on down the road. We created, because we have the tool to do this, a poll question for all of you. And is that something you can share with them right now, Roya?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to launch a poll, and you should be seeing a poll on your screen.
Ah, perfect. So what do? Do they click on the?
Yeah, just click on the number that is you associate with most.
Mm-hmm. And this is anonymous, so we're not going to know who said what.
Yes, it is anonymous.
6 out of 7 voted already. 7 out of 7.
All right.
What a compliant group.
Okay, so can you see, I think that if I hit end poll, you'll see the results, right?
Okay, that would be great. End poll.
All right.
Ooh. Okay, so what am I reading? 7. Okay, so 29% clicked 8. That surprises me. That surprises me. I'm not surprised about the 3 or the 5, but I am surprised that so many of you, 7 people, are excited about meeting new people at a networking event. Perfect.
All right.
And I notice I'm not asking who said what. Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so an hour is the perfect amount of time to spend on this topic. So we can remove that poll now, at least I'll get rid of it. Okay, and we're going to talk about going to an event from beginning to end and even beyond the end. So the event that you go to network might be a 2-hour event, but that doesn't mean that that's the end of the relationship that you started to create at the event. So I'm going to take it from the beginning to the end and beyond. And my expectation is for you to participate. So we're small enough in number for you to just raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask me a question or make a statement or an observation if you want. So you don't need to use the chat. You can just raise your hand. I'll recognize you, and then you can speak. Is that okay with everyone? Okay, perfect. So let's pretend that you are going to an awards event for Best Educator in Hawaii. And let's pretend that it's at the formerly known as Pacific Beach Hotel. I think it has a new name, but I don't know the new name, so I'm going to call it the Pacific Beach Hotel. And their meeting rooms are on the 3rd floor. You'll get there. Okay, so the event starts at noon, where you'll be asked to sit down for your chicken lunch and hopefully a good speaker. What time do you think you should arrive at that event to get the most networking benefit? Anyone?
If it starts at noon?
Yep.
I'm going to go with the safe number of 11.
Ooh, 11.
11:30.
They'll ask you to set up the tables if you get there at 11. Oh, could you help us? Good. I like it that you want to be there early. That's excellent. So I'm going to say 11:30. I'm going to say that if you get there at 11:30, you will be among the first to arrive. And when you look at the long corridor at the Pacific Beach Hotel, you'll see the meeting room. The largest one is down at the end. And you'll see a table outside that meeting room. And can anyone say what is on that table?
Probably like registration or check-in.
Right. So there's going to be a parking validation stamp, probably some tickets. Hi, Barry.
Hi, I
Welcome.
thank you. I apologize I was late. A meeting ran over.
Oh, well, we're just getting started. Welcome.
Okay, good.
So on that registration table, you will see a key ingredient called name tags. And I want you to get there early so that you can read the name tags, because this is going to give you a very good clue as to who you might be able to meet. Now, when I was in my earlier stages of my career, I would reluctantly go to these networking events because I was shy. I'm not anymore, but I was. And I didn't love meeting new people because I felt intimidated and not confident, to say the least. So I didn't make a habit of reading those name tags, but I wish I had, because if I had, I could have said, oh, I've heard Linda Lingle. I've heard of her. I want to meet her. Or, oh, someone from Swinnerton Builders. I've always wanted to do presentation skills work for Swinnerton Builders. And it would have given me a chance to have a focus going into that networking event instead of flailing about not knowing what to do. So I want to recommend that you get there early and look at the name tag table so that you can pick out a few people that you might want to meet, either someone in particular or someone from a certain company. And then to make that even more general, I want to give you this thought. What would happen to your confidence and your self-esteem if everywhere you went, you could meet the most important person in the room? And when I say meet, I mean walk up to in your mind whoever is the most important person in the room. Would your self-esteem go up or would it go down? Who says up? That's the correct answer. You might not want to do it. You might be scared to do it. But if you could, everywhere you went, decide who's the most important person in your mind and walk up to that person, oh my goodness, nothing would scare you anymore. So who is the most important person in a room? Well, let's count. It could be the guest speaker. It could be the MC. It could be Linda Lingle. It could be the person from Swinnerton. It's up to you. But I really want to encourage you, the next time you're allowed to be in a large group, I know we can't do it yet, but the time will come when we can again be with people. And I want to recommend that you decide, number one, who's the most important person. Okay, second person I want you to meet, and there's only 3. In half an hour, I only want you to meet 3 people. If you meet more than that, okay, but 3 is a great job. So the second person I want you to meet, and this is going to sound really scary, is I want you to meet the person that when you scan the room, the person who scares you the most. No one's laughing. Oh, Ty is laughing. Okay, that's good. So for me, the person that used to scare me the most was a woman in better clothes than I was wearing, who had a better handbag, like a Coach handbag or a Louis Vuitton handbag, because all I had was Ross handbags. And so if a woman was better dressed than I was and had higher heels and had better posture, oh my God, that was so intimidating for me. And I would stay away from people like that. For 2 decades, I stayed away from women like that. And then I followed my own advice and decided to meet someone who was intimidating. And guess what I found out? They were delighted that someone wanted to meet them. I mean, flattered beyond belief. And they were nice, and they weren't snobbish, and they weren't scary. They were nice. And we had a great conversation. And then at the end of about 7 minutes, I needed to move on to meet somebody else. So we'll get there in a minute, how that can be a challenge. So most important, someone who intimidates you. Now, a man sometimes is intimidated by a bigger man. A muscle-bound man, a muscle-bound dude might be scary, or someone who you know is more advanced than you are in your chosen field, that could be scary. But you will get so strong if you can walk up to anybody. I can honestly say there's no one I won't walk up to unless they look physically scary, like brandishing a knife or something. But aside from that, I can meet anybody because I've practiced this for a long time now. And then the third person I want you to meet is someone that you suspect that if you could befriend them, you would learn so much from them. Someone you could learn from. Oh, there's someone in the waiting room. So a person that I would like to meet and learn from is Michelle Obama. And the reason is that she is able to command speaking fees way beyond my wildest dream. So if she speaks somewhere for 20 minutes, she makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. I want to know, how do you think whatever you have to say is worth that? I would love to know that. And how did you get an agent? And how do you decide what you're going to talk about? I want to learn that. But unfortunately for us here in Hawaii anyway, people like that don't travel through a whole lot. So it's not likely that Michelle Obama will be at the Pacific Beach Hotel. So I'm going to need to meet somebody else that I can learn from. And that could be just about anybody. So you're going to set your goals, set your sights. Now, keep in mind, you may be walking over to Mrs. Important, and someone else might be walking up to meet you. And you can't say, out of my way, I'm on a mission. You have to say, oh, thank you for wanting to meet me. And that is the magic of networking, is you never know who you'll meet and what will happen. So be very open-minded about this as you make your way through this event. Okay, so I've walked up to somebody to meet them, and I say, I've been wanting to meet you. Now, are those magic words or what? I've been wanting to meet you. I've been wanting to meet you. My name is Pam Chambers. I don't know if we're shaking hands, probably not. My name is Pam Chambers. I'm a presentation coach, and I read about you recently in Pacific Business News, and I wanted to meet you to talk about some things you mentioned in your article. And they'll say, oh, they'll be flattered. Hi, Pam. Welcome.
Hi, sorry, I was coming from another meeting. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Sorry.
My name is Pam too. We're both Pam. So then I'm going to say, so I open it up that way. I've been wanting to meet you, and here's what I know about you, and can we chat for a few minutes? And that will happen. Now, here's where I used to fall down. I used to believe that in order to take someone's time, I had to be interesting. You better be interesting. You better be fascinating if you're going to take someone's time during a networking event. And of course, with that kind of pressure, I automatically decided I wasn't interesting enough. I don't know enough about banking or whatever this event is about, teaching. So I would decide that I wasn't worthy of meeting important people or interesting people who I could learn from. So I would hang back, and I've noticed that people who hang back don't have people walking up to them. People who hang back are not putting out a vibe, I want you to meet me. So they just stay alone the whole time, maybe with someone they know, and they waste this entire opportunity. So you do want to be a little bit outgoing, even if you're an introvert. Be an introvert on a mission. So I decided that just the pressure of being interesting was getting in my way. So I decided instead, I am not worried about being interesting. I'm going to focus on being interested in this person. So I'm interested in Ty. I don't know why. You interest me. So I'm going to be interested in him, and I'm going to say things like, how did you come to be in this program? And what I imagine that you are entrepreneurial in some sort. I'm interested to know what your interest is. See how these are open-ended questions? Don't ask yes, no. Is this your first time here? No. Okay, that goes nowhere. But open-ended questions, how, what, why, when, where, who, those are open-ended questions that lead to an actual conversation. And then you might think, uh-oh, if I keep asking him questions, I'm going to sound like I'm interrogating him. We don't want to do that. So here's the answer to that. Instead of question, 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 it could be question, statement, question, statement. So the statement might be, I would love to hear more about that. See how that's not a question? I'd love to hear more about that. Or what's the story behind that necklace? There's a story. What's the story? What's the story behind that necklace? I'd love to hear that. So those are statements, not questions, and that prevents you from sounding like Ty is on jury or something, on trial. He's on trial for being at this networking event. What's he doing here? So you want to make him more comfortable than that. As I hinted at a while ago, ending this conversation will be a challenge because now that you've shown so much interest in this other person, they love you. I mean, they love you. They're relieved. They have someone to talk to, someone who cares about them, someone who's interested. Your biggest problem is going to be ending the conversation. So here's what I recommend. When you're allowed to handshake, if you ever are again, you'll say, it was great chatting with you. Could we exchange business cards? Now, caution. If that person leaves you feeling cold and you don't think you want to have anything more to do with that person, do not ask for their business card because that's phony. So you only ask for their card if you think you want a continuing relationship with them. Okay, everyone? Don't be phony. But I'm going to ask for Ty's business card. I'm going to say, it was lovely chatting with you. Could we exchange business cards? Follow me, everyone? Okay, I see a new face or two. Who is this? Why can't I see her name?
I'll rename them. I can rename them. I know who they are. Jada.
Oh, okay. Jada.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's
Jada.
Jada.
Or is it Jada?
Jada, like Jada.
Jada, like the famous person. And then this is Maya. Hi, Maya. Hi. Okay, so this is someone's business card. I'm going to put it near my camera. Notice that it's square. So here's business card etiquette. We're talking about business etiquette. Business card etiquette means that, let's say she gave me her card and I put it in my purse. Why is that wrong? Someone else is coming in. Why is it wrong to take her card and put it in my purse?
Does it make it seem like you're not actually interested in the card because you're not reading it first?
Exactly. So the rule is you must look at the card. Now in Japan, they look at the card for a full hour. I mean, they look at it forever. We don't have to do that. We just need to look at it. So this is called Space Maven. And this is very intriguing. Space Maven. I know what a maven is. A maven is someone who's an expert in something. Space Maven. This is intriguing. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to look at it enough to ask a question about it or to make a statement about it. Space Maven. Are you a personal organizer? She'll say yes. Now you might say, well, wait, Pam, I thought you were trying to end this conversation. Well, I am, but I'm not ending it with an abrupt halt. I'm getting to the end of it by receiving her card and saying something about it. So where's my card? Never mind. But usually people say, oh, your card is so colorful, or oh, there's a photo on the back. There, we have to look at it and say something about it to prove that we looked at it. And then I don't just throw it in my handbag. I need to put it in a zippered compartment or an internal pocket so that I'm placing it somewhere instead of tossing it. For men, when you go to a networking event, Danica, can you turn on your video, please, so I can see you in action? We'll see if he got my message. Oh, there he is. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So for men, when you go to a networking event, you want to wear a shirt that has a pocket. And that card can go right into your pocket. If you don't wear a shirt with a pocket, you're going to have to carry a man bag, which I think most men don't want to have to do. So just shirt with pocket, and then you'll be fine. Is it okay to sit down in front of your chicken lunch and make a note on her card? Personal organizer. The answer is no. You cannot write on someone's card in front of anybody. Now, when you get home and you're in privacy, you can make a note, loves dogs, but never will you write on someone's card in front of another human being, because that defaces it and harms it. So you're going to treat it with a great deal of respect. Now, remember I said something about wanting to keep the relationship going? So I'm going to say to Ty, am I saying your name correctly? Okay. I'm going to say, Ty, before I let you go, you seemed interested in that article about business etiquette that I mentioned. Could I email that to you tomorrow?
Sure.
Thank you. Good, I will. So now I've extracted from him something very precious. The precious thing I've extracted from him is permission to contact him again. Permission. So he said I could do this thing, which allows me every right in the world to do that, which I will the very next day. Do not make a promise you can't keep. So don't say I'll send you 50 articles about body language, because you probably won't be able to do that. But a simple thing like emailing something, that's easy to do. And you only get 1 point for keeping your agreement. So make sure it's an agreement you can keep. So the next day I'm going to do that. And he's going to say, wow, a trustworthy person. He's going to say, wow. He's going to think about all the people in his life who said they would do something for him who didn't do it. And this permission, followed up by keeping a promise, is worth more than I can even talk about in a whole day. It's trust, it's integrity, it's time management, it's competence, it's respect. So before you let that person go, figure out what you can offer them and ask them if you can do that for them, and then do it. Let's say I go to my computer the next day and my email is down. Now I need to text him. I know I said I would send that email article. My email is down, but I wanted you to know I didn't forget about my agreement. So you always want to take every opportunity that you can to build this thing called trust. Does that make sense to everybody fully? Did I say anything confusing? Good. And now I'll move on to the next person. It could be the one that intimidates me. It could be someone I think I can learn from. And I'm saying, again, if you can meet 3 people and connect strongly with 3 people in that first half hour, then now you deserve to sit with your friends at lunch and enjoy yourself. You've done a great job already. So let me take your comments now. I'm going to call on a few of you and ask you a question. So Pam, of the things that I've said so far, what strikes you the most? One thing that you think you can use?
I think one thing is, I find it interesting where you talk about business card and whatnot. Because, like, I mean, through my experience when I'm meeting someone, it just that, like, we always in conversation, we say hi. You should also, or even sometimes you say hi, start the handshaking, and business card's already in your hand, and we just exchange it, and we not even look at it because we already like asking each other's name, and then just continue the conversations, just keep continuing. So
Got it.
it's like the flow, it just go through there, like the flow just, but I don't know if that's just my personal experience.
Okay, so this brings up something interesting. If the minute you meet someone, that person hands you a card, it would be wrong to say, why are you in such a hurry? That would be wrong. So there's a thing called matching, where we are willing to do something matching another person's style. It could be the rate of their speech. It could be what they want to talk about. It could be when they want to do a business card exchange. So the person who's able to be the most flexible has the most power. If I am so inflexible that I cannot receive your card until 5 minutes have gone by, I am not powerful. But if I can go with the flow, oh, quick business card exchange, okay, here's mine, then I have more power. Same thing with seating. Some people can only sit in a certain seat in a restaurant. Some people can only sit in what we call laughingly the mafia seat. The mafia seat is the seat. Hi, Quinn.
Hi. Sorry.
Aren't you a good-looking young man? So the mafia seat is the one that's usually in the corner with no door behind them. So the person in the mafia seat has a full view of the entire room. They don't want any nasty surprises behind them. Well, there are other people who don't want a full room in front of them. They want only their guest in front of them. Well, if I can't be flexible about where I sit in a restaurant, I am limiting my choices. And I'm also limiting my free-flowing spirit. I'm rigid and controlling and inflexible. That's not a great way to live. So the more we can go with the flow within our own integrity, the better off we are. So that addresses what you just brought up. Thank you for that. Let me go to Malia. What's something you've learned so far in our first half hour?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's been very interesting. I think one part that you said that stuck out to me was having a slot for your business cards once you get them, because sometimes I'll hold them, or sometimes like I'll bring my whole like black folder, the thick black folder, but that's kind of a hassle to carry. So to make sure you have like either purposely wear a garment with a pocket on it, or make sure that you show that you're taking care of the card itself, I thought was really helpful.
Oh, good. So I love getting this feedback because you triggered a thought. If I'm with someone who is carrying a business card holder, like you said, a folder, notebook, vinyl thing with a bunch of slots for business cards, and they stick mine in there, that doesn't make me feel very special. Oh, I see, I'm part of his collection. But for them to put it in a separate, maybe a business card holder, deliberately placing it in there, that makes me feel special. The other thing that you mentioned about holding it in your hand, it's almost impossible to hold something in your hand and not fidget with it. So clicking it, snapping it, I saw someone, oh my God, I couldn't believe this. I almost ran out of the room screaming. He used my business card to clean something out from under his fingernail. I thought, I don't care if that man has a budget of $1 million for speaker fees. I want nothing more to do with someone with that small amount of class. Oh my God. It was so disrespectful. And then another time I gave my card to someone who asked for it, and I don't know who dropped it in the hallway, but I saw my business card on the floor on the way to the parking garage. If they drop my card, could they at least pick it up, please, and put it in a receptacle? So this, I mean, this is a piece of me. It's a piece of you that you're handing over to somebody. And I cannot stress enough how much you need to respect it. Okay, let's go on to moving the relationship to the next step, shall we? And Ty, I'm just going to keep on playing with you because I started with you and there's no need to leave you. Is that okay with you? Good. So let's say that Ty and I had started a conversation about mentoring. Now, I'm someone who likes to always have a mentee, always. And right now I don't have one, hint, hint. So what I am interested in is finding people who want to be mentored by me, someone that I think I would have fun mentoring. So let's say that he and I started a conversation about that, but the conversation didn't get completed because we had to go sit down. So what I'm going to do after I send him that email about the business etiquette is I'm going to say, I would love to hear your thoughts about this article if you have a chance, if you have time. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If he responds to that, now I know, oh, it looks like there's a relationship underway. If he doesn't respond to that, I'm not going to hound him, but I'll think, I guess this isn't going to go anywhere else, and I'll just let it go. But I know Ty, and I know that he's going to respond. He's going to say, oh, I love the part about XYZ. And then I might say, I might call him on the phone, and I might say, Ty, this is Pam Chambers. Is this a good time to talk for a minute? And he'll say,
Sure.
okay, I want to keep on talking, so keep your
Okay.
voice
gotcha.
going. So I'm going to say, I'm going to make a mistake here. See if you can spot it. I'm going to say, I would love to chat with you more about the mentoring conversation that we had. And I wonder if we could have lunch sometime next week. See how he doesn't know what to say? See how he doesn't know what to say. And the reason he doesn't know what to say is I did not make a clear invitation. I wondered if we could have lunch next week. That is so unclear. He's thinking, I gotta pay. I have to choose the place. I don't want to go into a restaurant now. You know, there's all this stuff going on in his head because I wasn't clear. So I need to say, there's a restaurant downtown that is really good about spatial distances, and I would like to host you. I would like to take you to lunch there. And I wonder if you could name a couple of dates that would be good for you. What 2 days do you have open next week?
All my days are open.
No, I need you to name 2 days.
Okay. Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday or Thursday. Let me get my calendar. Sound of paper calendar flipping pages. Tuesday or Thursday. Okay, Tuesday doesn't work for me. Oh, and either does Thursday. What does he feel like doing? He feels like hanging up the phone because I asked him to name 2 days and I kind of forced him to do it. And he named 2 days and I said no to both of them. This is not right. So everyone get this. I need to be the one to name the days so that if they don't work, I'm the one being told no, not him. So I need to say, I was wondering if either Tuesday or Thursday would work for you. And he'll say,
Yes, absolutely.
oh, which one? Which is better?
Thursday.
Okay, perfect. And then I was thinking of two restaurants actually in Ward Village that have really good spacing and they're outside. So it's Panya and Tango in Ward Village. And I'm wondering if you have a preference.
What's the difference?
Not much. Let's go to Tango because I love the owner and I like supporting her. So it's Tango Thursday. And is noon okay for you?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Okay. You can now mute yourself. That's all I needed you to do. Perfect. So now we have a plan. We're going to go to Tango at noon on Thursday because they have open seating outdoors and fresh air, and we love the owner, and the menu is great. And it's relatively affordable. So Thursday noon, what time should I arrive at Tango? And the answer isn't half an hour early. So he's going to be walking up at noon. What time should I be there? Quinn, what do you think?
I've always done 15 minutes early.
Excellent answer. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Nothing. So I get there 15 minutes early. If I am sweaty from the walk, I can cool down. I can look at the menu. I can turn off my phone. I can do all the things that I want to do to be ready for him. And when he approaches the restaurant, I'm going to stand up and greet him. Men, if you want to earn points with women, and I know you do, develop excellent manners. So excellent manners will be so valuable to you with women. And I'm not being sexist. I'm stating a fact. So standing up, holding out the chair, walking on the curb side of the sidewalk for protection. These are all excellent things that you can do that will earn you points with females who might either be able to hire you or become a girlfriend. So we love good manners. And there was a decade in the 70s when women were mean to men who showed good manners because we felt like they weren't treating us as equals. It was called the Women's Liberation Movement. I can open my own door. I can pay for my own lunch. We were ridiculous. And so we undid all the good manners that the men in that generation had learned from their parents. But we've changed our mind. Now we want you to pay for our lunch again. Okay, so now we're looking at the menu. And I've made sure that Ty gets to sit where he wants, not by assuming that the view of the shower trees is what he wants. He might want a view of the restaurant. He might want a view of the street. I don't know. So I need to say, please, wherever you're comfortable. I should not dictate where he should sit. So be sure that you're really open-ended about where your guest gets to sit. Ty, in a restaurant setting, where do you normally like to sit?
I actually like the mafia seat.
Ah, yeah, I saw you kind of resonate to that. Okay, so I didn't know that because I don't know him yet, but now I know it, and now I'm going to make sure that that's the table that he gets and the seat that he wants. So valuable. All right, now we're looking at the menu, and I don't know about Ty, but I do know about most people. When they look at the menu, the first place their eye goes is where?
Drinks.
Oh, I like that. Normally, the first place that people's eyes go is to the prices, the guest. So they look at the prices because they are so afraid of ordering something that's too expensive. So they're unsure. So they look at the prices and they'll normally pick something in the medium range. And I don't like my guests to feel uncomfortable. So they might wonder, oh, should I have an appetizer? Well, I don't want you to wonder about that. I want you to know we're either doing appetizers or we're not. So you're students, you're youngish, maybe you don't have a huge budget for appetizer, dessert, entree, blah, blah, blah. And I don't either at this time in my life with no income practically, but I am gonna guide you. So I might say, oh, there are a couple of appetizers here that are delicious. Ding, 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 now you know appetizer. Or I might say the entrees here are so generous, I really enjoy the this and the that. Now he knows, ding, 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 no appetizer. See how that was guidance, but subtle? Now he knows. And knowing is so much more comfortable than wondering. So now he knows he's going to order some kind of entree. So I might match that. I might say, see, maybe he's a vegetarian. Maybe he orders vegetarian lasagna. Should I order rare steak? Maybe not, because I don't know him yet. That might turn him off. So this thing called matching that we talked about, it would be so nice if I could honestly say to the server, oh, that sounds delicious, make that too. Make that too. Magic words. I've been wanting to meet you, magic words. Make that too, magic words. But let's say that he orders rare meat and I'm a vegetarian. Do I match that? Jada, do I match that?
No.
No. You don't match what would be against your integrity to match. So that's a match I can't make, but I can match other things very much so along the way. So he orders vegetarian lasagna. I say make that too. Now let's scoot to the dessert. Let's say that the server says, what can I bring you for dessert? And let's say that I didn't guide him on let's have dessert. Again, the question comes up for him, should I order a dessert? Pam's not showing me what to do. Now there's doubt. Now there's discomfort. Now it's not comfortable. So I need to say, oh, they have a great fudge brownie with a la mode. Let's get that. And we can ask for 2 plates. Let's share that. So we're at the stage of maybe sharing now. That's a good thing. But let's say I don't have budget or time for dessert. I'm going to say, well, let's talk about the next step for our mentoring relationship. What I would love is I'd love to know if you would send me an email saying 3 things you'd like to learn about if I were your mentor. What 3 things would you like to learn about? And if you will send me that email, I can decide if I'm a good fit for you. And if not, I might be able to recommend someone else who I think would be even a better fit. So see, I've given him a next step. This is the way to keep that relationship going. Now, yesterday I asked a group of people, there were 40, how many men would be uncomfortable with the check arriving and me paying it? Me, a woman. And even in your generation, there are men who would be uncomfortable with a woman paying for that lunch. So let me survey the men here. There are only 4 of you. So men, you 4 men, raise your hand if you would be comfortable with me paying for the lunch on this first encounter. Okay, 3 of you. How modern. How enlightened. And I'm guessing that Brandon, you might be from a culture where the man should pay. Got it. So if the man reaches for the check, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, oh no. I'm going to put my hands together in a prayer mode. And I'm going to say, oh no, please, I insist. I wanted to host this. Now, Brandon, if I said that to you, do you think you could let me? And then he might say, I'll get the next one. And I would say, okay, that's great, thank you. But in this modern day and age of 2020, when women are equal in the workforce, except for equal pay, we won't go there. I want to pay. I want to pay. You said I could pay. I want to pay. Let me pay. If there's an argument here, then that's not going to be a very good sign for the future. So Ty, you have to let me pay. Does anyone have any question or comment about that? Okay, great. So we're in agreement. Oh, go.
Hi Pam, what if there's like the opposite end, like you go in and you have the budget, you willing to pay, but then like the person on the other end does not feel like they're not reluctant to order stuff, and they like, let's get appetizer. I'm gonna get a T-bone steak. Okay, let's have another drink or another bottle of wine or something like that. What do you do?
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever had that happen. I don't know.
I had that happen a few times, and then I just like admit that I have to pay.
Well, I would say I've chosen the wrong person. I mean, this person did not take my hints very well and is overstepping, not a boundary, but being a little greedy. It's happened to me when I've been with groups of people where people are just drinking and eating and blah, 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 and then they want to split the bill. When I had a salad, and I've developed enough courage to say, I will pay my share. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. But if I invited him and he went overboard with serving himself, I would have to pay. There's no way I would say, okay, well, you owe. There's no way I would do that. I would just have to learn the hard way that I evidently didn't give enough guidance as to what we're doing here. But as I said to you, in all my life, I don't think I've ever had that happen with just one other person. Interesting. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you more than once. Okay, let me see if we have just a few minutes left. Let me see what I will regret not having said if I don't say it. Let me think for a minute. The world works best when there's clarity. So my final words to Ty were, if you would like to consider a mentor relationship, I would like to request from you an email with 3 ideas about how I could help you. And do you think you could maybe get that to me within, say, a week's time? Ty, within a week.
Totally. Do it tomorrow.
All right. Now, let's say a week goes by and I don't have anything from him. I don't think I'm going to do anything about that. I'm not into pressuring people, chasing people, hunting people down. If another week goes by and he says, I never heard back from you about the 3 things I want to learn, I would say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't receive that email. Now that's going to show me that he's truly interested and has persistence and courage. Those are all great things to learn about him. But I'm not going to say, you said you would, because we don't have any agreement. If we had an agreement, and that agreement is broken, how I would deal with that depends on so many things. So I'm not going to give you advice about that, but just know each situation is different. You'll deal with each situation depending on what's at stake, what you think you could gain and offer, and how much you want this thing to happen. But that's the cycle of networking. So you get there early, you choose who you're going to meet, you introduce yourself, you show interest, you end the conversation with a business card exchange. If you want the relationship to go farther, you get them to agree that you can do something, and then you do it. And then you set up a way for that relationship to take a next step, whether it's coffee, tea, a walk in the park, or an actual lunch. All of those things are possible. And then that makes that hour and a half of networking that you didn't want to do, it makes it so worth it. And because now you have a new friend. You have a new friend, a new potential business relationship, all because you got off the sofa and you went to that event. I want to say a few things about email etiquette. The biggest mistake I'm still seeing is people who don't respond promptly because they don't have an answer yet. I'm going to brag about Roya. So responsive. Oh my goodness. It's like the minute I send her an email, I have an answer. And I love that. It builds so much trust and security. And it could be that you don't have an answer, but have a response. Oh, Pam is agreeing with me on this, right? Have a response. I need a day to get back to you on this because I need to look something up. Have a response. If you don't respond, here's what people do. They make up a story that you don't like them. They make up a story that you're not important to them. They make up a story that you're not worth their time. And it's a bad story. And it's usually an untrue story. For all you know, they're busily looking for an answer. But because you didn't respond, they make up a bad story in their head. And that takes us down a negative path that is so unnecessary. So respond right away, even if you don't have an answer. And then the trust goes up, the relationship goes up, your self-esteem goes up, their self-esteem goes up, and it's just very cool. Okay, 4 minutes. Final thoughts, anyone? Final comments? Final something I learned today? Quinn, you weren't with us the whole time, but what's something you learned?
I really liked the guiding in the lunch. I mean, that's not something that's really easy, and it's really true. It's awkward if you don't know, and so that's I wouldn't have thought of that necessarily.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you will not forget that. Certain things that I teach, people say, I've never forgotten. For example, this. Before I let you go, I have 4 minutes. Okay, so see what I'm doing with my hands? I'm making circles with my thumb and forefinger. If you're at a fancy table setting with lots of silverware and bread plates and lots of beverage glasses, this helps you know what bread plate to use. So this, my left hand, do this everyone, my left hand looks like a B. Do you see how my left hand looks like a B? Bread plate on my left. The plate on my left is my bread plate. Keep doing that because I have to get a picture of this. This is so much fun. Okay, is everyone doing B and D? Okay, good. And then my right hand looks like a D. Drinks, the drinks, water, coffee, juice, alcohol, whatever is on my right hand side, that's for me to use. So again, it's creating certainty. We're having appetizers, we're not having appetizers. We're having an entree, we're not having, we're having dessert, we're not having dessert. It shows me clarity about what to do at that dining table. So sometimes, since I've been teaching this for over 20 years, I'll be in a restaurant and I'll look way across the restaurant and I'll see someone doing this with the people that they're sitting with. And the people that they're sitting with are going, and I know what's going on over there. That this person is saying, if you want to know which bread, and then they might say, oh, there's Mel Chambers. She's the one I learned that from. So it's so much fun to see this information sweeping the nation. I had one group of 100 people from all different states, and I wasn't talking about dining etiquette, but I took a detour and I said, please indulge me for 1 minute. I want you to all learn this thing. And I said, take this back to whatever state you came from and share this with everyone so that people are more comfortable. And then I saw a video on YouTube with someone doing this on the YouTube video. I said, yay! All right, well, my time is up, 10:29. I'll be back with you at the end of the month because we're going to do presentation skills, and I think you're going to really like that. So I look forward to seeing all of you again. Thank you, Roya.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. We really appreciate your time today and everyone's time. And thank you. I know you're all very busy and it's hard to fit these in at work and during lunch. So I really appreciate the interns for taking that time and carving it out to be here today.
Thanks, Pam.
So you're welcome. My pleasure, everyone. Have a great day. Oh, the little clapping hand. Clapping hand.
All right.
All right. And I might see you at future workshops that sound really interesting to me. So I may be with you again prior to the end of the month. And I heard that that's okay for me to join you. So maybe I'll see you then. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Aloha.